this is what we're going to learn today. So we'll revise the sales org channel division. We'll learn how to assign a sales org to a company code. We'll assign distribution channel to sales organization. We'll assign a division to a sales organization. Okay, this is something we have made in the presentation already. Okay, this is something we have made in the presentation. We are going to do it in the system. We'll make a sales area. We'll talk about a sales area. Okay, we'll create a sales office. You'll understand the concept of a sales office, and then we are going to assign it. We'll talk about the concept of a sales group, and we'll assign the sales group to the sales office. We'll make a sales district. We'll create a plant and assign a plant to a combination of sales org and channel. Okay, and this is, I will talk about the concept of a plant in the class. We'll create a shipping point, talk about the concept of a shipping point, what is it, how is it used, why is it used, etc., and assign that to a plant. And we'll create a storage location for a plant. Okay, so these are some things which we are going to do in the session today. So this is what we talked about when we talked about a sales org last time. Okay, so it's a fundamental concept which is responsible for the company's products or services. So basically, an organization within an organization. So the company is an organization, and this is the sales organization which is part of that company. Okay. Similarly, in SAP, there's a concept called purchase organization. Those group of people are responsible for purchase. Now, this group of people in the organization is responsible for sales. Okay. And there can be more than one sales organization in a company, right? That's something we need to remember. And this is the structure of a sales organization, right? So the whole sales organization has a sales hierarchy as well. And normally what we do is the national sales manager or the NSM or the sales head. Okay, this person is normally, when you go in and configure for an organization, you would normally check how many heads are there. So if you have 2, 3, 4 heads, you are normally advised to make the same number of sales organizations. Okay, so that is how you decide how many sales organizations I need to make when you are in the system, when you are configuring for a customer. So this is the example we took where we said that HUL has 4 sales organizations which do 4 kind of selling for 4 different kinds of products. So almost a divisional based selling. So personal care, foods, oral care and ice creams. 4 different people heading it in the country, and therefore we will make 4 sales organizations. That is what we had discussed in the last session. Then we went ahead and talked about a distribution channel. Okay, so it's basically various ways and methods a company uses to sell and distribute products and services. So how do your products reach the customer is what this is. Okay, and basically you use this way to move goods from the factory to the customer, right? So are you using it? Are you moving to the distributor, and then the distributor moves to the retailer and then the consumer? That's one way. Or are you moving to Blinkit, and then Blinkit or uh, or Uber Eats is sending to the customer? That is the second way. Third way is you have a store right in front of your plant, and you allow the customer to walk in and buy your products, right? So how are your goods reaching the end consumer basically? And this depends on the supply chain function in the organization along with the sales team. Both of them work together to decide the channels. And the channels we have decided here are traditional trade and modern trade. There could be many other channels. Traditional trade is the kirana stores, the mom and pop stores. Okay, modern trade is are the Walmart, the Macy's, the big bazaars. Okay, the Moores. So these are the modern trade. There could be many other channels. I did not want to complicate, so I have not put it here. But that is something which could be there, and you could make more channels if you feel that's something you would want to do for your own setup, which you will do in the system. Okay, so what's a division? Division is basically dividing your work or organization stuff. So you are dividing your organization into various parts, and that normally is done at a product level or at a part level or a line level. Okay, so how many product lines do I have? What are the different kinds of product I make? That's how you make a division. They are managed separately, handled separately, and reported separately, and that is why you make them in the system. Okay, and in our case, we have a very straightforward structure. So foods is ready to eat. That's what we've kept. This is Nor noodles part of Unilever. Then personal care, we have hair care, body care, and face care. This is what we normally know Unilever for. Oral care, you have devices which are your toothbrushes, the electronic ones, and these are your oral products which are your toothpaste, tooth powder, etc. And in ice cream, you just have the ice cream. Okay, this is how we have structured the divisions in the organization, right? And you could have one to one, like in the case of an ice cream, or you could have one to many, where personal care has to be broken down properly because this is such a large category that you would not want a personal care here as well, right? And with the category growing each day and people recognizing products by their nature, therefore you need to break them down further as well. Okay, and okay, then these were the codes we had given to our sales organizations. So we said four sales organizations, four codes: HEL 1, 2, 3, 4 for foods, personal care, oral care, and ice cream. Modern trade, we have said HEL modern trade. Traditional trade is HEL traditional trade. This is a two-character alphanumeric code allowed by SAP. This is a four-character alphanumeric code allowed by SAP. And then we said divisions would be again a two-character alphanumeric code. And we said HUL ready to eat, HUL hair care, HUL body care, face care, devices, oral products, and ice creams. Okay, this is how we've thought we'll do the naming convention for our divisions as well. Okay. Now, sales area is basically, if you look at a sales area literally, then it's a geographical region or market segment where a company is carrying out its sales activities, right? What is my area of sale? This is where we are starting today. So, what is my area of sale uh, in the context of a geographical area or a market segment? Okay. Now, this is basically your literal meaning. So, you tell a salesperson, this is your sales area. You are going to sell in this area, right? So, say uh, someone is in Delhi. So, in Delhi, you can say, cannot place is your sales area. Okay. Now, that's a literal sense. However, in the case of SAP, we say the combination of a sales organization, a distribution channel, and a division is a sales area. So this is the area in which you are doing your sales inside SAP. This is not a physical area. Okay, this is a logical area, which is basically a sales organization, a channel, and a division put together. So these are three things put together, and this is what makes a sales area. Okay, right. Now, sales area is a very important concept, but it is not an independent org unit, right? Sales org is independent, not dependent on anything else. A channel is independent. You just make the channel. Division is independent. You make a division, the division gets made. A sales area is dependent on all these three. The combination of these three is the sales area. The sales area does not have a number, a code, or description of its own. When you put these three together, it's called a sales area. That's it. Okay. Now these are some sales areas which we have made. Okay. So foods traditional trade ready to eat is one. Foods modern trade ready to eat is another. Because remember, it's a combination of sales org, distribution channel, and division. Okay. Similarly, personal care, traditional trade, hair care. Personal care sold through modern trade, hair care is the division. Personal care sold through traditional trade, and body care is the type of product. Personal care people selling through modern trade, and body care is the type of product. Okay. Similarly, ice cream sales organization guys selling the traditional trade route, okay, which is the mom and pop store route. And what are they selling? They are selling the ice cream division, ice cream line products. So these are your sales area. So if I was to count, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, because it's a combination. Okay, and this is how you can see a sales area. Okay, so the one in gray is HUL, HUL1, HM, and HR. This is one sales area. Okay, the one in orange, HUL1, HT, and HR is another sales area. This is an orange. Then you could have a third one here, HUL2, HM, and HH. HUL2, HT, and HH. Okay, now this is how you make a sales area. Obviously not in the system, but this is how you conceptually think of a sales area. Okay, so this gray portion is your conceptual logical sales area in SAP. HUL1 sales organization selling through the mom and pop store route. Sorry, M is the modern trade route. So modern trade route, and what they are trying to sell is ready to eat, which is HR. And then you have HUL1 sales organization, which is the food sales organization, trying to sell through the traditional trade route and trying to sell ready to eat stuff. Okay, so this is how you make your sales areas. You make them conceptually, you can make them in a presentation like this, or you can make them in an Excel sheet. Once you have made them here, then you go into the system and make the same sales areas in the system as well. Okay, now what's the usage of a sales area? So basically you can define what can be done for what type of sales, right? So you can define that my rush sales. So there's a concept called rush sales where you rush stuff and do a sale really fast. We will talk about that in our sessions. So you can say I want to do my rush sale only for the modern trade sales org, this kind of channel and this kind of division. Okay. It also defines which customer can be sold from which team and which intermediary. Okay. For example, the food sales team selling to the mom and pop store via the distributor route, right? So your customer, which sales area will serve a customer is also defined. So sales area is the most important concept of sales and distribution. Your customer is at sales area level, your material is at sales area level. Okay. So you have to define which of these are going to serve a customer. Say you have made a customer called John, and John is a mom and pop store. So now you are going to decide which sales area will serve John. Okay, two sales areas can also serve John, right? But at least one sales area has to serve John. Otherwise, John cannot be served as sales. Okay. Similarly, a material, right? More than one sales area can sell a material, but at least one sales area has to sell it. Otherwise, how would the material reach the customer, right? So, say for example, this is Nor noodles, ready to eat. So, if you're selling to the Walmart, then HUL1 modern trade and your ready to eat division will sell Nor noodles to Walmart. Okay. If you have John stores in Salisbury, say for example in US, and you are trying to sell Nor noodles to John, then what you will do is HUL1, which is the food sales org, along with the traditional trade channel and the ready to eat division are going to serve him. Okay, so that's what a sales area does for you. And then it is important for all reporting purposes. Why? Because as a sales head, you need to know which sales organization is doing good business, which channel is rocking for us, okay, and finally which division is getting us the best sales. Ultimately, you want to increase your sales. So you need to know which organization, which channel, which division is helping me, right? And you also need to know which combination brings you the most sale as an organization. Okay. So it could be personal care selling to the modern trade, okay, and it could be your hair care or body care, right? Now I think body care would be the most selling, and depending on the country you live in, it could be traditional trade or modern trade. So if you are in India, then your personal care, traditional trade route, body care would be the most selling sales area. Okay. If you are in US, then I believe personal care sold through modern trade, body care division products would be the most sold uh, sales area. Okay. So basically, it helps you in your sales as well. Okay. So one company code can have many sales areas. Remember that. One sales organization, distribution channel, or division can be part of many sales areas. We already saw that. Okay. Max number of sales areas that will be made is sales org into channel into division. That is the max, right? No, not all your combinations will work. Therefore, the max will never max in all cases, most cases will never happen. Okay. But this is the max. If you want to check whether your calculation is right or not, at least you can check that your count should always be less than the max. Now this is pure mathematics, right? Sales org into channel into division. So if you have four sales organizations in our case, okay, so we have four sales organizations. We have two channels, so 4 into 2 is 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have seven divisions, so 8 sevens are 56. So 56 is the maximum number of sales areas which we can create, right? But normally you will never reach that. So in our case, only we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we could have created 56. We ended up creating only 12, right? Because not all combinations are valid and logical. So ice cream sales org selling body care does not make sense. Okay, or uh, oral care selling ice cream does not make sense, right? So that is why not all your combinations work, but that's a max cap on your sales areas. And this is what I've told you here as well. Number of sales areas you make will finally be lesser than the max number allowed, as all combinations will not work. Right. Now, these are some further things which we'll study in classes when we do it. So, this is basically the use of sales areas for other stuff. So, your sales areas will you be used in documents, that will be used in availability. Sales areas will be used in pricing. Sales areas will be used in sales office. Okay. This is just to tell you the importance of a sales area. I'm not going into detail now because this will confuse you. When we talk about each of these sessions, in the session I'll speak about how sales area is helping, right? But this is just to tell you that a sales area will further be used for many different concepts in SD. Okay. Okay. And some rules which you should remember for your sales org settings. A sales org can only be assigned to a single company code. Okay. Multiple plants can be associated with a single sales organization. Every sales organization has an address. Sales office and people are assigned to a particular sales organization. And after the org unit client, sales organization is the highest level for sales statistics. Okay, so highest level when it comes for sales data. There's no level higher than sales organization for your sales related data in sales and distribution or in the SAP S/4HANA system. This is the highest level. You cannot have a report at a level which is higher than this. Okay, you can have a report at the company code level, but the company code is a structure, it's a segment, it's an element from finance. Okay, however, a sales organization is your SD module thing. A plant from a different company code can also be assigned to a sales org. So a plant from Lakme can be assigned to HUL. Okay, but this is basically when you are trying to do cross company sales, right? One company taking the goods of a second company and selling it to the customer. Okay, now before I go into other concepts, what I will do is I'll go right over into SAP. Let me open this and keep this open so that we can see what are the various. So these are the sales areas that we need to create. Okay, and these are the codes that we have. So we'll need these codes to look at. And let's open SAP, take you to the configuration. SIMG is what I typed, came to enterprise structure. This is something we have already done. Okay, sales org distribution channel. Division also we have made. Definition is done. We'll go to assignment now. First of all, we'll do one thing, which is we'll assign our sales organization to the company code. Okay, so in my case, if you see here, HUL 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have 4 sales organizations. Sorry for this. Okay, so I have 4 sales organizations, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I am going to assign all of them to 1710. So you also, when you make your sales organization, just put your organization and put the company code here. Okay, so there were a few people who had made the sales organization, and since I had to save mine, I assigned the 1710 to yours as well. I don't know who has made that. ARSO, someone had made this. I assigned 1710 here as well. So for those of you who have not made it, when you come here, you will find your sales organization sitting empty. So what you will find is like this. So when you open the screen, this is how it will look like. Okay, you'll see your sales organization with nothing here. So what you do is you put it here. If you're more than one, just copy and paste. Okay, and then you're going to save it. Right, so this is basically your sales org assignment to company code. Okay, now these two I'm not talking. Okay, let me do these as well. Second is your assignment of distribution channel to your sales organization. Okay, so let's see our assignment. Okay, so foods, traditional trade, and modern trade, these are our assignments. Okay, so HUL1 with HM and HT, HUL2 with HM and HT, HUL3 also HM and HT, HUL4 only HT. Okay, it does not make use of the modern trade channel. So let's make this in the system as well. Okay, so sales org is HUL1. This one I've already made, but I'll make the other entries. So HUL1 traditional trade, HUL2. So I'll just explain you here and then I'll make there. This is HUL2, HT and HM. Okay, so that's what I'll go and make now. HUL2, HT, HUL2, HM. This is basically you telling the system that this sales organization can use this channel to do its sales. Okay. And then you'll say HUL3, and let's see what we have for HUL3. HUL3 oral care is using both modern trade and traditional trade. So we'll do that as well. So we'll say HUL modern trade, and we'll say HUL3, HUL traditional trade. Okay, and then we are finally left with HUL4, which is your ice creams. Now with ice creams, let's go and see what are the channels. So the channel for ice cream is traditional trade, which is just one channel. You are not using modern trade here. So we'll say traditional trade. Okay. All of this is made and you can see the codes as well. Okay. Now so this is something we can, let me save it, and then I come back, and when I come back it shows me everything. That is when I can check it against my system. Okay. So what I have made in a presentation, is it all there or not? So let's check. Foods division has modern trade and traditional trade. Sorry, food sales organization has modern trade and traditional trade. So foods, traditional and modern. Next is personal care should have traditional trade and modern trade. So personal care has traditional and modern. Then the third thing we have is oral care should have modern trade and traditional trade. So oral care has modern trade and traditional trade. And finally we have is ice creams. Ice cream only selling through traditional trade. So ice cream only selling through traditional trade. We save it and we come out. Then we have assignment of division to sales organization. That's something we need to do as well. Okay. So what I'll do is, I think I've made one. Yes. So ready to eat I've made. Rest I'm going to make in front of you. Okay. So let's make it small so that we can see and do it. So HUL1 with ready to eat I've done. Okay. And now let's do the rest. So HUL2, and we have HUL hair care, and then HUL2, which we have HUL body care, and then HUL2 we have HUL face care, and then HUL3, let's see what we have. Let's make this even smaller and longer. Okay, so it's angry with me for not putting it out. Obviously I'm going to put it out. So HD devices. Okay, and then HUL3 oral products, and then HUL4, which is your ice cream, will have HI, which is ice cream. Okay, so this is what we have now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 divisions we used in our presentation. You will see all those 7 here. Okay, 6 are here. When I go back, you will see the 7th one as well. And that's one because one I had already created. Okay, if you want to directly come to your, just put it here, it will bring you. So ready to eat here, hair care, body care, face care, devices and oral products, and ice creams. Okay, so you have your 7 divisions assigned to 4 different sales organizations. Okay, This is what we have done. I'll save it once again and come out. Now what we need to do is we need to set up a sales area. That's something we need to do. Already set it one up for you, so I'm not going to do that one again. I'll do the rest of the areas. Okay. So here I'll keep the full screen open, otherwise let me see if half screen works. Okay, this works. So HUL1 modern trade and ready to eat I have made. I'll now make HUL1 traditional trade and ready to eat, and then I'll start with the others as well. Okay, let me do new entries here. HUL1, HUL traditional trade, HUL ready to eat. Okay, now this one was remaining that has been made. Now let's look at this combination. Now this is HUL2 sales organization. Okay, and we are saying HUL traditional trade sells hair care, sells hair care. Then we are again saying HUL2 modern trade also sells hair care. Then we are saying HUL2 traditional trade sells body care. So traditional trade sells body care. Then we are saying HUL2 modern trade sells body care. Okay. Then same thing for face care. HUL2 modern trade sells face care. HUL2 traditional trade also sells face care. Now, did I make a mistake? HUL2 hair care does not exist. Okay, that's the case. Let me come out. Okay, my mistake. Hair care is HH. I was writing it as HC. That is why the trouble. So hair care, right. Now you have it. Okay, so hair care being sold by traditional and modern, body care sold by traditional and modern, face care sold by traditional and modern. All of this part of HUL personal care sales organization. Okay, now let's do one thing. HUL HUL3. Now this is our third sales organization, which is HUL3. So this is now oral care. So HUL3 modern trade devices, HUL3 traditional trade oral products, HUL3 modern trade oral products. Okay, so devices, there is no traditional trade, so we did not put it here. Devices is only through modern trade, oral products through traditional and modern both. And then finally HUL4 traditional trade ice creams. Okay, so we have made our sales area. So our sales areas are made. I told you, let's position it HUL. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 sales areas we have made. Okay. Okay. So divisions is nothing but dividing your work or your organizational stuff into logical or specific product lines. Okay. Now these are your uh, product divisions. Think of them as product divisions and then you would remember. Division of products logically. So if you are Tata Motors, what you do is you will have a passenger vehicle division, you might have a truck division, you might have a bus division, and you might have a light commercial vehicle division where you make very small door-to-door delivery vehicles for e-commerce, etc. Okay. Now that's dividing your products logically uh, into a group. It's nothing but a group. It's a group of products which have some similar nature. Okay. I gave you an example of Tata Motors. HUL, we are already seeing the divisions. Similarly, if we were to look at uh, let's look at the divisions of Reliance. Okay, so if Reliance was one company, then the divisions would be uh, one division is taking care of your uh, telecom, one division is taking care of uh, your uh, mm, e-commerce, which is basically your milk basket, okay, and your Geo Online, okay. One division is taking care of your petroleum products and petroleum sales, okay. Uh, Similarly, there's one division which is into cloth. They have acquired many companies which make cloth. Okay, so that is another division. So that is how Reliance could have various product divisions. So basically, your product defines your divisions. Your groups of products will define your divisions. Okay, so if I am PepsiCo, my division would be uh, my one division would be namkeens. My one division could be uh, chips. Another could be your healthy foods, which is Quaker oats, etc. Another would be your carbonated beverages. Another would be juices, which is Tropicana. Uh, and that's how you would structure your division if you were PepsiCo. Basically, bringing together similar kind of products as a group. That is your division. Okay. So now we are going to talk about a sales office. Okay. It's a very simple term. It's actually an office, right? It's basically a place from where the sales team operates, right? And they manage their sales activities. Now, why is it important? Because as a sales head, I need to know how is my Mumbai office doing? How is my Delhi office doing? How is my Chennai office doing? Bangalore office doing? Calcutta office doing? Pune office doing? Ahmedabad office doing? I need to know their sales activities. I need to know their sales numbers. If I don't have a placeholder in the system, I'll never be able to know their sale numbers. Okay. So for me to be able to know that, I need a placeholder. That placeholder in SAP is called a sales office. Okay. And it represents a area or market segment where sales activities are performed, right? You go and talk to people, you get inquiries, you get quotations, you get orders, you make your invoices, all of that you do it at a sales office level, right? And as I said, it's for managing the team, it's for monitoring their performance and maintaining relationships with customers. Okay. So for example, in FMCG, Unilever might have offices in New York, London, Mumbai, catering to those regions. Ford could have offices in Detroit, Cologne, Sao Paulo to manage relationships and customers, right? Your Siemens might have offices in Munich, Beijing, Dubai for basically different market segments and customers. IBM could have in San Francisco, Toronto, Sydney, and many others, right? In our example, what I've done is I've given you two sample office images. So a South Bangalore and a Central Mumbai. This is how they would have a central as in the central India, Mumbai, South India, Bangalore. Okay, these are your sales offices. And this is how I have given them a code. Again, in SAP, they are allowed as a four character alphanumeric code. So north, east, west, south, and central is what I have, and I've given them a code, HUL North, HUL East, HUL West, HUL South, and HUL Central. I've shown you so two offices just as a representative image that this is basically what a sales office is. Okay, in real terms, in SAP terms, both. Uh, a sales office has to be assigned to a sales area. Okay, so it does a particular kind of sale that is very important. A sales office can be assigned to more than one sales area. Why? Now this Mumbai office for HUL could be selling all kind of things. All the 12 areas could be sold by the Mumbai office, right? Whereas if you are in a small city in India, say you are in Trichy you are not selling ice creams, right? So your one sales area will go missing, right? Because Trichy does not sell ice creams. However, in bigger cities, almost all your sales areas, almost all your sales people will be selling from this sales offices. Okay, they'll come to this office, they'll do their activities here, and they'll sell from this office. Okay, so your sales areas are, a sales office can have more than or assigned to more than one sales area as well. That is very important to know, right? Because as an office, it is not just made for one team or one kind of people. Normally you make it for many teams and many kind of people selling from that office. A sales office is further broken down into sales group, which is a group of salespersons. Okay, so this is a group of people who are selling. The sales office has an address. Obviously, it's a building, it has to have an address. Okay. In S4HANA, what you do is you make a sales office and you assign it to the sales organization. These are two activities that you do. That is the sales office concept. Now you have a sales group. Okay, let's look at this image to understand. So you have the Bangalore sales office. In this Bangalore sales office, you have, sorry, my mistake. So let's look at, this is the Mumbai sales office. So for the Mumbai sales office, you have different groups. One group looks at Thane, one group looks at Navi Mumbai, one group looks at Dadar and South. Okay, so these are subgroups which are looking at smaller regions or smaller territories which have been assigned to the sales office. So if this is Mumbai sales office, okay, then Mumbai sales office uh, will be catering to a very big area, right? It's not just for the Mumbai city alone, right? It could be catering to Mumbai, it could be catering to Thane, it could be catering to Navi Mumbai, it could be catering to Khar, okay? So it could be catering to a much larger area than just Mumbai, okay? Or even if it is catering just to Mumbai, you need smaller teams to look at specific spots within that city. Okay, so four people for Thane, three people for Mumbai, three people for Dadar and South Mumbai. Okay, that is how you make sales groups. These are small sales teams sitting in the sales office. Okay, so when the national sales head will have a review, he will look at numbers for Mumbai, then he'll have a review with each of them where each of them will represent their own sales. So I did so much sales, I did so much sales, and I did so much sales is how they would say. Okay, so I've given some codes. So for example, HD is Delhi, HNO is Noida, HGU is Gurugram, HAD is Dadar, HNM is Mumbai, and HTH is Thane. Okay, so that's how I've given them names. Again, three character alphanumeric is allowed. Okay, I've tried to make them smart, so they are smart coding. Just by looking at that, I should be able to know what they are, but you can have 01, 02, 03, etc. as well. What do you do here? You make a sales group in SAP and you assign the sales group to the sales office. That is what you do. Then you have a stand-alone concept called a sales district. Okay, it's a free floating field. Why? Because you make it, you do not assign to any other org element. You do not do this assignment. Okay, it's a 6-digit alphanumeric. There is no assignment here, and this field is directly entered in the customer. So when we make a customer, we just put the sales district number there. Okay. Okay. Right. Now what I'm trying to do is show you something here. Let me go back to a place in our presentation. Try to show you something. See, a sales organization is normally here. Okay. As ZM normally heads the sales office. So if you want to look at his sale, you can look at the sale for the sales office. Okay. RM is normally responsible for the sales group. So if you want to have a look at that sales group, you will look at the sale of the regional manager. Okay. And then you have the ASM. So as the ASM, what you can do is, now this is not, these are all assigned to each other. You already know that. So you have a sales org, under that you have a sales office, then you have a sales group. But the ASM is not, as a concept, SAP has not given you any further breakdowns of level. So what you can do is this concept sales district, which I was telling you, the ASM person can be created as a sales district in the system. Okay. So that is the concept I was trying to tell you now. Come directly to the sales district. Okay. And sales district you can make to represent your area sales manager. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is go into SAP once again, and in here I'm going to go here. Okay, so this is your sales office. Maintain your sales offices, and let me open the image for the sales office. So these are my sales offices. Okay. North, east, west, south, and central. Let me go into the system. Just say H. North I have created. Let me create the rest. H SOU, H SOU. This is HUL South and HWES. This is HUL West, HCN, HUL Central, HEAS, which is your HUL East. Okay, so here I have. Now what it is going to do is it is going to ask me the address of each of those sales offices one by one, because I have created 4. It gives me the code here so that I know what I'm working on. Okay, so I'll say HUL Bangalore, and Whitefield, postal code Bangalore, India, Karnataka. This is done. Now this is West company HUL Ahmedabad office. This is Ahmedabad. Okay, I don't remember the code. Let me put something. India, and region is Gujarat. This is done. Central, I'll say HUL Mumbai office. Central operates from Mumbai. I'm just saying that. Okay. And this is in Andheri, and the postal code is this is the postal code Mumbai, India, and Maharashtra East. HUL Kolkata office, and this is in Kolkata. Postal code India, and West Bengal is what I would say. Okay. Now what you can also do is, if you want to put in telephonic details, you can put them as well, because the sales office will obviously have a telephone, right? However, I am not doing it, but that's something which has been given by the system and you are allowed to do it. I am going to save these entries, and my sales offices have been created. Okay. So I have made 5 sales offices: Central, East, North, South, and West. Okay. And SAP also says that Singh created it. So 5 of them have been created by me. I see it here. This hidden is a tick. If you press it here, then when someone is making a sales order to sell to a customer, he will not see this sales office. Okay. He will not see it. However, if he still puts it, it will come. Remember that. This is just to hide it. It does not mean it will not work. It will still work. So if he remembers the code, he can still put it. However, he will not see it if he tries to see an F4 entry. Okay. If he tries to see the various available options for that field, he will not see this. However, if he remembers the code and he puts it there, then that code will be picked up. This was the sales office. Then you have the sales group. Okay. Now this is your sales group. Now let's open the screen for the sales group. Okay. So these are the sales groups we have made. Okay. Now let me go into the system. I think I made one. So I made Delhi. Now let me make others as well. Okay. So others are Noida, Gurugram, Dadar, Navi Mumbai, Thane. And you have Thane. And you save it. Okay. Obviously, this is not the entire list. You'll have many. If you have 5 offices, you'll at least have a group of. You'll have 50 groups or 100 groups or 500 groups as well, right? But I have tried to keep it simple. So what I've done is I've created 6 groups here. Okay. So you have the sales office, you have the sales group. Now let's go to assignment and try to assign these. Okay. Right. So now we go to sales and distribution and we say assign sales office to sales area. Okay. Now before that, as a consultant, what you need to do is you need to simplify your life and your stuff. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a technique which will help you in life. I hope we have an Excel here, which we do. So we have an Excel here and we have our HUL sales areas. So what I've done is on my keyboard I've done Control Y and this crosshair opens and I select all my HUL, Control C, I take it in a Excel sheet, I do a Control V, I get all of this. Okay. Now similarly what I do is I go to my sales offices which I had just created. These are my sales offices. Position I go to H, I do a Control Y, I select all of them as well. Okay. Now I have these here as well. Okay. This is what I have. Next what I do is now I go into a config where I need to spend a lot of time and that is why I've done this. Assign sales office to sales area. Okay. So what SAP is expecting is sales org channel division with the sales office. Sales org channel division with the sales office. So basically you telling the system this sales office is going to serve with sales areas. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll be smart. Just copy them and put them here. Okay, the text will not be pasted because this is gray. The only the white stuff gets pasted. So line C gets pasted. Okay, the channel gets pasted. Sales org gets pasted. The channel gets pasted, and the division gets pasted. So I pasted them. I'm saying at central we'll be serving all of them. Okay, and I press enter. You get the data. You save it. Okay. Now I want to make some more. Why? Because I've just told the system the central office is going to do what kind of a sales. I've told the system. I need to tell for the east office as well. Okay. So now what I'll do is I will try and be even more smarter. So I'll put the east office here. I'll pull it down. I'll copy all of this. I'll put it here. I'll just say enter and I have the data. Okay. So east office is also serving all sales areas. That's what I've told the system as well. Okay. Similarly, let me do it for north. So I put north here, stretch it down, copy all of this data, paste it here, press enter. Okay, and they have a problem here because I already created this one. Okay, right. So this was north. Now you have south. So I'll paste south, stretch it down, copy all of this, put it here, press enter. You have it. Last one remaining is west. So west, I put it here, stretch it down, copy all of this, paste it, save it. So a config which you would have done using your hands might have taken you an hour. We have been able to do it in about 2-3 minutes. That's the power of using your Excel sheets with your configuration. Okay. Remember to use Control Y. Remember to use Excel sheets. A lot of Control C, Control V will help you in doing these things faster. Okay. Now this is your sales office to sales area. Which sales areas is my sales office going to cover? So we are saying all sales offices are going to do all kind of business, right? Because we have teams there. Next, this says assign sales group to sales office, right? So which group is sitting in which office? Please let us know that. That is something we need. That's important. So I'm saying north is Delhi. Okay, that's one thing I'm said, but I don't remember the other numbers. So I'll bring the group. I'll position it here. H. This is my. These are my names now. Again, I'm taking it to the Excel sheet. And this is just for remembering. It's not a big list I have created, so I won't not be using the way we did it earlier. So central, I'm saying HCEN, which is central, which is was Mumbai, has Dadar, Navi Mumbai, and Thane. So HAD, HNM, and HTH. HAD, HNM, H central, HNM, H central, HTH, HTH. Okay, Dadar, Navi Mumbai, and Thane is central team. Okay, and we had a few more entries. Let's see where they belong. Delhi I had already created in north. Gurugram also I have to create in north. HNOR in HGU. HNOR will have HGU. And then let's look at any other. Noida also in north. So HNO, H north will have H Noida as well. Okay. So have I made the entire sales team? No, I have not. But that's to simplify things and not to complicate them further. Okay. But if in a normal company you will go and you see this, you will at least for HUL you might see 100 or 200 entries, whereas we have a total of, in my case, I created just 6 entries. Okay. So your sales office to sales area, sales group to sales office is what we have done. Okay. Another thing which I had told you was the sales district. Okay. Now that sales district is not in the enterprise structure, but that is normally used as an enterprise structure. However, it is here sales and distribution, master data, business partners, customers, sales, sales district. Okay. Now what I'll do is just to show it to you, I'll create a sales district here. So I was saying it is at a level I'm trying to create it at a level lower than the group. Okay. So Delhi was the group. Within Delhi, I want to create something. So within Delhi, let me create something, and that something will be second out place. So H, and I want to create it under Delhi. So Delhi, and okay, and then one more H Delhi Karol Bagh. Okay, similarly H Delhi South X. Okay, similarly H Delhi east of Kailash. Okay, so you've made all these sales districts and you save it. I told you they are standalone entries. You do not assign it to anything. When you make the customer, you will just put the sales district number inside the customer. I'll teach you how to do that. But as such, you are not going to assign it to any other entity. Okay, they are standalone things. They'll not be assigned to any other enterprise structure. Okay. Now, this was your sales office and sales group. Okay. Okay. So the next thing which you need to understand is the plant. The plant is not created by the sales team, the S&D consultant. So you are not going to create it. However, you are going to use it extensively, and that is why you should know about it. Okay. So a plant is where stocks of a material are kept. So if you are keeping stocks, you are the owner of a company, you're keeping it in your house is a plant. You're keeping it in your office is a plant. You're keeping it here in your garage is a plant. Okay. So anything where you keep stock, even if you're keeping one quantity of a material, it is still a plant. Okay. Next thing to know it could be a manufacturing plant or a place to store material close to the manufacturing plant. Right. So you manufacture it, but the space is less. So you store it half a kilometer away, and you have a shuttle truck running which shuttles the FGs from the manufacturing plant to the warehouse. So the warehouse is also a plant in SAP. Okay. It could also be a carrying and forwarding agent. So you talk to a carrying and forwarding agent who's not your company, who's a third party, okay, who just gives you space to store your goods. And he what he does is when your truck goes there, he takes the goods, puts it in his warehouse, and when you send the truck for your dispatch to customer and you tell him this needs to be dispatched, he will do that dispatch as well. Okay. So it's basically helping you in your logistics with a few people, with management of business, with a warehouse which is clean. Okay. And it's called a carrying and forwarding agent. This person is also a plant. Why? Because your stock is lying at his premises. You do not own the premises, you have not even rented the premises, you have only taken his services. But still, this location is also a plant. Okay. Next is it could also be a go down in the city. Go down. Right? You normally go down and could put your stuff. So it could also be a go down or a warehouse. Normally you don't go down any longer. You have proper warehouses which are at the ground floor level, and where you keep your material for providing easy access to distributors, right? So a place to store your materials close to your customers, right? That is a warehouse in modern day terms. We don't no longer call it a go down. This is also a plant. Okay. The distributor stock location is not our plant. And why is that? Because you have sold it to the distributor. It is not your stock. Because it is not your stock, it is not your plant. Okay. Your stock, wherever it is kept, is your plant. Okay. Let's remember it like that. Obviously, you made it here, so it's kept here, so it's your plant. It is near your manufacturing plant, you've hired a location or bought it, and you're keeping your material there, that's your plant. Your carrying and forwarding agent is not your company, it is a different individual with a different address, but he's helping you keep your stock. This is your plant. Your warehouses or your godowns are your plant, but the distributor stock in his location is not your plant. Okay. What you do is you do a plant to company code mapping. If you have many companies in the system, you will have many plants, and your plants will be mapped to the company code. You cannot do sales and distribution without having a plant. You need to have at least one plant to do your sales and distribution processes in the system. At least one plant. Okay. One company can have many plants. Okay. Just like sales organization. But one plant can only be working for one company. One plant cannot be assigned to multiple companies. Why? The stock belongs to a company. Think of it like this. The stock belongs to a company. The plant is carrying the stock. Therefore, the plant cannot be reporting to or assigned to multiple companies. However, for any company to do business, if you are a sizable big organization, you'd need many plants in the country. Okay. So in PepsiCo, if I remember well, we had more than 100 plants in the entire country. Okay. One plant belongs to one and only one company. Okay. Now this LAKM plant belongs to company 2, but it can also serve company 1 customers. Okay. This is called cross company sales. So sales guys pick up Lakme stock, sell it to their customer. Okay. Say they have a good relation with Blinkit. Okay. And they are going to sell their HUL stuff. They'll also go and sell Lakme to Blinkit. And then later on, what will they will do is they'll give money to this company. Why? Because they have used their stock. Okay. Stock belong to company 2. They've used the stock to sell it to a customer. Okay. But you need to give money to the company 2 from company 1 because you used their stock. It's called cross company sale. We'll talk about that. Okay. So you'll have plants which are not relevant for sales, and you'll have plant which are relevant for sales. For whichever plant are relevant for sales, you will have to assign it to sales organization and distribution channel. Okay, so you will have to tell which sales org and channel is using this plant to do its sales. That is something you will do it in the system. Okay, that is something which assignment which needs to be done. Okay, and one plant can be assigned to multiple sales organ channels. Why? Because ultimately one plant could be serving modern trade, it could also be serving traditional trade, it could also be serving e-commerce, it could also be serving canteens, it can be serving anyone, right? Similarly, HUL, if it has a warehouse in Delhi, it will normally, what it will do is it will keep the uh, say it will keep personal care and oral care together, right? So one plant which is serving the needs of two sales organizations. So therefore, one plant can be assigned to multiple sales org and channels. Okay. Now this is a plant. This is a plant, right? This is where you are manufacturing and then you are storing your goods. Okay. And this is also your plant. This is a warehouse where only stocks are kept. Okay. This is also a plant. Why? Because stocks are there. And why is this manufacturing location a plant? Because they manufactured and they kept it there only. So this is also a plant. Okay. Now that was a plant. Now shipping point is a point or place from which the shipping happens. You're going to ship your goods, right? Transport it. Okay. But there was, we used to use a lot of shipping in the earlier days, and therefore the name shipping came. But it's actually a point from where you are transporting your stuff. Okay, it could be a loading ramp, it could be a mail depot, it could be a rail depot, wherever, whichever point you are using to ship your stuff from your plant is called the shipping point, point of shipping. Okay, and you do a master data setup for this. And for your shipping activities, this is the highest org level. Shipping point is the highest org level for your shipping activities. So when we'll make a delivery in the system, the delivery will be made at shipping point level. It is not made at a plant level. The delivery is made at a shipping point level. Okay, so each outbound delivery is processed by exactly one shipping point. And each shipping point has to be assigned to at least one plant. Okay, one shipping point has to be at least assigned to one plant. Two plants which are situated next to each other can have a common shipping point as well. Remember that. Two plants, and you made them as two plants in the system because they are two different addresses situated next to each other, can have a common shipping point as well. And why is that? Because you do not want to waste a lot of space for shipping. Okay, so therefore you have two plants but one shipping point. Okay, I already told you, assigned to more than one plant. One shipping point can have several loading points, and I'll show you that as a image. Okay, so this is a shipping point, all of this. Why? Because shipping will happen from here. Shipping will happen from here. This complete place is a shipping point. These are loading points. Each of them are loading points. Why? Because goods would be loaded into the truck. But as a complete thing, these are shipping points. This is your shipping point. This complete thing is a shipping point. Individual is loading. So this is a loading point. So he is loading beer canisters into a truck which will take them to the customer. Okay. Now in India, you normally don't have it like this. You normally have it like this. So you have a big place which you call the shipping point, and then many trucks will come and dock, and then you load those trucks. So each of them are loading points, but not demarcated using paint. Okay, just that trucks will find their own space and park, and you will load them. So these are loading points. This entire area is the shipping point. This is another example. This complete thing is a shipping point, and these are all loading. Okay, so this is your shipping point, and you will do a plant to shipping point mapping as well. So this plant has two shipping points, this plant has one, this plant has one, and these two plants have a common shipping point. Okay, and as I told you, two plants situated next to each other can use a common shipping point. Okay, so these two plants are using one common shipping point. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll go into the system, show you the plant, and then I will show you the shipping point as well. Okay, so Bangalore and Gurgaon, two I have made. Let me go and tell you where it is done. Okay, so logistics general, define plant. This is where you will make a plant. Okay, so what I'm doing is copying 1710, or let me copy the one which I have made. HUL Bangalore I have made. Let me copy this. Now I'm making HUL Gurgaon, Gurugram. Gurugram is the address. I'm saying Sun City. Gurugram. Okay, so I have made HUL Gurugram as a plant. Okay, I can copy this one which I created and make another one and call it HUL Pune. Pune. Jabadi Company HUL Pune and Jabadi plant. Okay, and one more which is HUL Sri City. Sri City. HUL Sri City plant. Sri City, India. Region is Andhra Pradesh. Save. So I've made four plants for HUL. Okay. Bangalore, Gurgaon, Pune, and Sri City. These are the four plants I've made. I also happen to have used them here. Okay. So yes, Bangalore, Gurgaon, Pune, and Sri City. So I've made those four plants in the system. I come out. Next thing that you need to do is you need to assign them. Okay. So assign plant to company code. So let's see. Okay, so we have not assigned. We'll do new entries. HUL Bangalore. Sorry, 1710 is the company code we are going to use. Now I know we have four: HUL Bangalore, we have HUL Gurgaon, we have HUL Sri City, and we have HUL Pune. Okay, I save it. This gets saved. Okay. Next, what you need to do is this plant needs to be assigned to your sales organization and distribution channel. Which plant will serve which sales organ distribution channel? So let's use our Excel sheet for this. Okay, so sales organ distribution channel is all we need. We'll keep it here. Okay, and what you need to do is data, remove duplicates. Okay, so you have this here and you make all the data here. So this is Bangalore, you made for Bangalore, you copy this, now you make for Gurugram, you made for Gurgaon, copy this, now you made for Pune. Now here I have taken an assumption which might not be true in the case of a project, that one plant is serving all sales organization and channels. Okay, so if one plant is not serving everything, then you will obviously have to sit with your customer and decide which plant is serving what. Okay, I have taken a simplistic assumption that every plant is serving every sales organization and distribution channel. Okay, so I'm going to paste them one by one. Okay, so when it says an entry already exists with the same key, you have this here which says skip. So click on it, it skips that entry and you do not have to go out and do all the stuff all over again. Okay, you just skip that one entry which you have already created earlier. Okay, and here I'm going to do this. So now what I did is I created a plant and then I went ahead and assigned it to the company code. I also entered and assigned it to a sales organ distribution channel, where I said this plant is now going to serve this channel for this sales organization. Okay, that's what I've done.